When I was in 8th grade, my mom actually chose St. Joe for me. So my buddies and classmates and I knew when we were in 1st grade that we were going to St. Joe High. Times are different now because 8th graders now have a lot more freedom and a lot more choice and say-so in where they're going to high school. So I would tell current 8th graders that St. Joe is the place to be for a number of reasons. First and foremost, it's going to strengthen their religion. It's also going to prepare them for college or any other endeavor that they get into after high school. I truly believe that the education here is second to none, and I base a lot of that on my personal experience, considering after grinding through St. Joe as a student, I went to IU Bloomington, and my first year at Bloomington was actually easier than a couple of my years at St. Joseph.
Well, I was a Christ the King student, and St. Joe was the high school that Christ the King feeds into. It was never really a question at my house. I had an older sister, and she went to St. Joe. She was a senior when I came in as a freshman. So her being already here or at the old building was a big part of it. But I never really wanted to go anywhere else. It was always my first choice. And just going to Catholic school, kindergarten through 8th grade, I wanted to continue my Catholic education.
So as an alum, I came back to teach just because I enjoyed being a student and the relationships that I had with my St. Joe teachers back in the day. They were the type of relationships where the teachers did an excellent job preparing us and helping us develop good habits, but they also comforted us when needed and had a good sense of humor and made us laugh at times. So that's the type of relationship that I think works best in high school education especially. So I wanted to make sure that I could return the favor to St. Joe and to establish relationships like that with students.
So kind of my story, I left St. Joe, went to college to major in journalism. I had a teacher at St. Joe who was very impactful, and he kind of like motivated me to be a writer. It's what I wanted to do. And then he passed away. And when he passed away, it kind of, something clicked in me. It was literally one day, I was working at a manufacturing company doing inside sales, and the next day I was signing up to be in Bethel's transition to teaching program because I wanted to be the type of teacher to students that he was to me. And so it was kind of like a full circle thing. And it only made sense to come back to the place that it started.
The best thing about the St. Joe community is the fact that it's forever growing. I'm very close with people that I went to school with, and I've continued to establish relationships with people that I've taught, people that I've coached, and it just seems like an ever-expanding family. In addition to that, something that I think is very unique to the St. Joe community is the fact that the community overall has a lot of heart, it has a lot of grit, and it has high expectations. And all of those things come in handy later in life. And when you are at a school like St. Joe and you're in the community, you end up bumping into people and interacting with them and networking with them through work. And a lot of opportunities can arise from being around a community that has, again, the heart that I mentioned, the grit and the high expectations that St. Joseph graduates have.
The community. It's like nothing I've ever experienced in like a job, I guess, or a profession. And I was not immediately a teacher after college. I went and had a couple other jobs before I became a teacher, and I've never felt looked after like by my colleagues, and I guess valued by the community. Some people say like, oh, you work with high school students, that must be tricky, all that attitude, but really, I mean, the kids are what they're what keep me here too. I mean, they're what keeps the day fresh and exciting, and they help me to be ready for whatever the new day brings. So, it's the community in as a whole. So my colleagues and the students. So the growth that I've really noticed, and that I think as an alum I'm the most excited to see is the growth and the diversity of our student body. When I was a student here, there was not much diversity, if I'm being completely honest, right? And when you look at a classroom now, just the level of diversity that we have here is amazing, and I think it's such a valuable aspect to the school. Just students that have different perspectives and that come from different places and have different life experiences. I think that adds so much richness to the classroom experience and to our discussions in the classroom. And like my children are, have quite a few years until they're here, but that's something that I look forward to for them to experience when they get to high school, is just them being able to be with people that can share different things with them that maybe they haven't experienced already, and just give them a different perspective of the world and of life and,